We'll begin our questions. Chair now recognizes Dr. Foxx from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank both of our witnesses for being here. I think my colleagues on both sides have done a good job of expressing our concerns about the status of reforms and performance of the post office. Mr. DeJoy, as you know, my district and many areas across the southeastern United States were hit hard by Hurricane Helene at the end of September. The storm brought catastrophic flooding and widespread damage that did not spare postal facilities in its path. Can you tell me how many post offices in North Carolina remain closed and how many have been reopened? And if you don't have the answer readily, it's okay if you give it to me later. And how long do you expect the closed post offices to remain closed?
Thank you, Congresswoman Foxx. I believe we have about 10 post offices now that still are without service. We have mobile mobile units that we have put in place. I will tell you that when the hurricane hit, we lost about 30 post offices, and we're down not able to get to about 3 million delivery points, and subsequently progressed down to about 20,000 right now that are closed.
You put on your mic.
If I may, we've had a couple of people, and myself included, having a little trouble hearing you all. If you could pull the mics closer and speak into the microphone, that would help. Thank you, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Foxx.
That's okay. I want to go on to another local issue. The Fleetwood, North Carolina Post Office, very small facility and fast-growing community, is too small for the mail volume it receives. And we understand many of the Fleetwood routes are run out of the Boone Post Office nearly 18 miles away, which is delaying the delivery of mail and costs mail carriers time and the UPS money. My staff was told the Fleetwood Post Office could not be moved to a larger facility, although one is available, unless a disaster struck the post office. Well, it was destroyed by flooding. Can we now expect the Fleetwood Post Office to be moved or rebuilt as a larger facility so that the long and wasteful transfer of mail to and from the Boone Post Office can be eliminated? It's been a constant source of frustration for many of my constituents, and I'm going to follow up on this, Mr. DeJoy, because I have other questions to ask you. You stated a few years ago your goal was for the Postal Service to break even by 2023. However, as we've heard today, the USPS continues to lose money each year and is on track to close this year with a $9.5 billion loss. Is the Delivering for America plan still up to the task of helping the Postal Service finally break even?
Look, we just issued Delivery for America 2.0, which is just reinforcement of the initiatives that we have to improve operational performance, recognize the diminishing mail volumes that we are handling in the marketplace, and reclaiming our position in the package business. So our drive to reduce cost, grow revenue, so we can put more product into our carriers' bags, which have to go to 161 million addresses 6 days a week, which by law, okay, which is over half our cost, which is a pretty fixed environment. So we are pursuing these initiatives. We have introduced new products that have grown package revenue significantly, and have other products coming down the line once we get the network in order and the changes in the service standards that we need. So absent other extraordinary issues that face us, this is the best plan that I've seen around town in a long time. We will get $5 billion out of additional cost, and we will grow our revenue by additional $3 billion. And if the OIG wants to put a forecast in as to when we will break even, she has those numbers, she can do it.
Thank you, Mr. DeJoy. Yeah, I use the post office a lot. I send out a lot of mail every week from my office, from me personally. So I'm very acutely aware of the service, the time, and the cost. At what point do increases in postage rates start destroying destroying demand and decrease the volume of mail to economically unsustainable levels. And you've said you're going to raise postage rates to the extent possible. How do you determine what constitutes, quote, the extent possible?
So we have operated under a defective pricing model for 15 years before my time. Mail volume had cut in half. The PAEA froze prices to inflation, and the mail volume got cut in half, and we were not allowed to raise our prices to the tune of $50 billion that the organization was not able to raise their prices. When I got here, we finally got the approval to raise prices, and we had 20% inflation, of which I get to charge prices after we incur the inflation. I'm always in arrears. 75% of the price increases that we charge were due to inflation and were not at the inflation rate. An organization like ours, which has labor and physical distribution assets, would have been negligent not to do any price increases, especially after 50 years. We are trying to reduce our costs significantly, okay, and grow our revenue to create an integrated mail and package network that winds up funding the delivery of mail into rural communities like yours. Okay? That is the strategy we're working on.
Thank you, Mr.
Right
DeJoy. I'm way over time. I apologize, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Chair